So a great night for the Birds, a great night in football, but you know, we're talking a great night in Philly in general for all of the sports teams that we're talking about here this morning.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, we just got to react to this for the Eagles. That is a great pick, 6 foot, 195 pounds, runs a 4.3, man coverage, zone coverage. That's exactly what the Eagles needed. Howie Roseman, you are the man.
AKA Coach is live for us outside where it all goes down.
Now, Tyrone, before we get started, just to pull a Jameis Winston, does anybody want to eat a W today? And what do we got to do for the Sixers to eat a W?
Oh, gosh. Jameis was so cringe when that happened.
8:33 now, and we're talking sports. So last night, the Phillies played on the road against the Twins in Minnesota. Now, the game took a little bit of time to get started. It was delayed because of rain. You see the torrential downpours out there. But when the game started, the Phils struggled in the first game of this series. But there is a bright spot right here. There's a home run to right field. We got to show you at least something good because, unfortunately, the Phillies lost to 7-2. But they do have a chance to redeem themselves. Oh, sweet redemption can be had tonight at 7:40 when they play the Minnesota Twins yet again. And the USA Olympic basketball team played their last tune-up game before the Olympics against Germany. Now, they did win, but as it's been all pre-Olympics long, it was not an easy win for the best players in the NBA. Now, the game was tied at 75, and that is until one of the stars from the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, he is going to be driving to the hole. You see it right here. He gets the entry pass, takes the contact, flips it up with his left hand, and that is what you call an and one. So the U.S. leads by 3, and crunch time, LeBron James is protecting that 1-point lead. He hits a 3 to create a little bit of breathing room, and the next time down the floor, LeBron James, get in the weight room, young man. He goes up and scores, and that secured the win for the U.S. You see King James flexing just a little bit. He's known for that. Now, LeBron led the way with 20 points, and the U.S. gets another close win, 92-98. And now in sports, the Phillies offense unfortunately struggled against Cleveland. Well, Kyle Schwarber, he did not struggle. He hit 2 home runs and also accounted for all of the Phillies' runs. Yeah, he was balling. In the 4th inning, the Phils were leading 3-0 until John Kinski Noel hits a home run that travels 436 feet to left center field. That was a bomb that tied the game. And then in the 7th, Jose Alvarado, he gives up yet another home run to right field. That one just gets over the wall. And just a second, you see Alvarado's frustration right there. Unfortunately, the Phillies do lose this one 4-3. Now, they won just 1 out of 3 games, so this means that they lost their 4th straight series. But Bryce Harper is undeterred.
Hasn't been good. Obviously, myself haven't been good at all. So just got to get better and turn the page and try to have a better series against the Yankees.
He's so calm all the time, no matter what's going on. Now, tonight, the Phillies play the Yankees at the bank to begin yet another 3-game series. Zach Wheeler starts on the mound for the Phillies, and Lewis Gill starts at pitcher for the Yankees. Now, that game starts at 6:40. Now, we just heard from one stoic leader, MVP caliber player in Bryce Harper. Well, let's talk about another one. The Eagles training camp is still going down. It was over the weekend, and all eyes are on the leader of that offense and the team, Jalen Hurts, the quarterback. Now, yesterday, he explained that there is a need to create a more diverse offensive scheme and also avoid being predictable, which a lot of people think hurt them towards the last half of last season.
Yeah, I think it can help. I think it comes down to execution regardless of what we're asked to do. But over the course of my career so far, I do see the importance of being able to, switch things up, adjust, give a different taste, a different initial feel for things in motions, formations, and using different players in different spots. So, we'll see what comes with that this year.
Yeah, he does definitely know how to switch it up. He's had 8 offensive coordinators throughout his career so far, so he definitely is adept to making changes. Now, both sides of the ball have new players and new coordinators, both on offense and defense, so go ahead and get your tickets now for the, I'll call them, new look Eagles. The first preseason game is next Friday, August 9th. Buckle up, because the Eagles are headed to the Super Bowl. I'm saying it right now, in July. Now, in Olympic news, the men's USA basketball team, I'll spoil it for you. They blew out Serbia and NBA MVP Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James. They were dominant. They were on fire. Hey, they were themselves. Now, meanwhile, our Joel Embiid, he didn't have too much of an impact with just 4 points in 11 minutes, but that's only because he was not a focal point. There are guys that get certain shots and certain looks in different games. They're just feeding all of the superstars because there are so many of them on this team. Now, Kevin Durant, He was clutch coming off the bench with 23 points, most of which were scored in the first half. And in the second half, Devin Booker, Bam Adebayo, LeBron James, and Steph Curry took over on offense. Now, you just heard me name a lot of superstars. That's why Joel Embiid didn't necessarily have that big of an impact. Also, Team USA played tight on-ball defense, created turnovers, forced tough shots for Serbia, so the U.S. wins 110-184. All right, that is a look at sports. Let's go for gold. USA men's basketball team.
Clearly one of the hardest working people in TV right now. Ryan Clark, thank you very much for sitting down with me, sir.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's talk about just the nature of Inside the NFL. You know, historic franchise. You're now the host of it, and the cast that you guys have, everybody was an all-pro, a leader on their team, one of the best when they played the game. How do you think that that is going to impact viewers?
I think it should impact viewers in a positive way. I think you should want to hear what Chad has to say. I think you should want to hear what Chris has to say, Channing, Jay. But that's not where it stops. You're in people's living rooms at 8 o'clock, right? So you have to have this relaxed, welcoming vibe, but you also want to teach, also want to entertain. And so we've been working on just continuing to build that chemistry so we can have people say, you know what, let's go do this, let's go watch this because it's fun, but we're also listening to people that played the game at a high level talk about a sport they love.
You were a hard-hitting safety, but you were always in the right place at the right time. How do you translate preparing for a football game and the way that you prepared to now, you know, being
I think it's the exact same thing. You know, like I can't talk about a game I don't watch. I can't direct or point guard a conversation that I don't understand each side of it or all perspectives of it. And you also can't do that if you don't know the people you work with. And then it's also about feel. Like a conversation, you can feel it's gonna go one way, it changes up. You need to be able to maneuver around that conversation and jump into different pieces of it when it's time to do that, which is like playing with Troy Polamalu, right? When he blitzes and he's supposed to be in the flat, I gotta go make that tackle. When he vacates the middle of the field and they throw the post, I have to be able to help him. Like I've always been like that sort of guy. I played with Sean Taylor, another great talent who people wanted to give the space to be great. That was my job. And so it's the same thing here. I want all of the guys on our panel at our desk to be the best they could possibly be. Prepare the best you can, but in preparing, you also have to be ready for some curveballs that are thrown.
In terms of the way that football was played in your generation, it was very
I'm not
physical.
that old. Why you say generation? You say generation like there's been like generation upon generation of humans that have played since I played. Like there's still dudes playing, bro, that I played against. Like
that is true.
Okay,
that's
like,
true.
So
That's true. I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, man.
I'm just saying you're not playing anymore. That's
when
all.
you played against Barry Sanders, like I didn't play against Barry Sanders, bro. I'm not that old, okay? God.
This man does not need an introduction. Chad Ochocinco. Thank you very much for speaking with me, sir.
Pleasure. How's everything?
Everything is going good. Inside the NFL, what is it like being able to dissect the sport that you love so much with other players in recent memory that were the best at their position, arguably?
This has been a joy. Football is something that I've grown up playing since I was 4 years old. And the fact that I don't play anymore, and I'm, almost 11, 12 years removed from it, you know, being a part of Inside the NFL has been awesome for me. I don't think I've really been able to express that to the people that allowed me the opportunity to work here. This is a good time to let them know that I'm very thankful, very thankful.
So for you now going from player now to analyst, what are the things that you're most watching for when you're preparing for your show?
Well, some of the things I'm most watching for is I'm paying attention to my colleagues. You know, that have been doing it already. I'm paying attention to Ryan, see how Ryan operates and navigates and not only watching the game, but understanding it, being able to explain it to those that are watching that might not understand X's and O's. So being able to break things down in a manner in which it's easy for the person that's not a football fan, so they can still enjoy it.
There's a lot of different shows out there in terms of sports analysis and whatnot. What do you think, in your thought process, what do you think makes this show different from other shows?
But the fact that we have a show of all players, some are mixed, some have journalists, some have analysts, some have a few players mixed in but mingled in. I consider our cast and what we have here similar to that of Martin. Think about the Martin cast.
Yeah.
You can't replace anybody on Martin and still get the same chemistry because of just the dynamic that they had.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of right off the top of the head.
Wow, that actually is that's
you can change the pieces. You can change the pieces, but the show it just won't be the same.
And also, how does it affect y'all when you're preparing that you have a DJ? Because y'all were vibing.
Yeah,
y'all were vibing hard.
I like the DJ because it loosens me up. And I can sit here and be honest. Week 1 and 2, I was nervous. I had the jitters. You know, being in front of the camera is not unfamiliar territory. It's the environment that I'm in. I'm not on the field. I'm not on the field, and I don't have on cleats. Now that I'm in my element. So talking trash, but now it's completely different. It's a completely different ball game, which is why I say I'm becoming a sponge, like looking at Ryan and watching how they move and how they navigate and talk about the game.
Wow. Well,
so it's a learning experience for me.
I mean, again, I'm appreciative to have have time to speak with you, and you know, congratulations on reinventing yourself and you know, starting something new.
Yeah, I'm trying.
All-pro linebacker, Channing Crowder, former Gator, go Gators. Yes,
sir.
I said it.
Yes, sir.
So first and foremost, you know, what is it like? I've asked the other guys about this, about, you know, analyzing football with other players that were the top at their position when they played like you were.
Just so enlightening, really, because you think you know football and then you just hear it from a Hall of Fame receiver, you know, a all-pro safety, you know, a great quarterback, a Pro Bowl quarterback, and you see how they see football, and that's the coolest thing. And you just get our minds together playing, you know, different positions. Chris Long as well, just playing different positions, and you really understand the game to a higher level. And cocky, you think you know football, and then you talk to Ocho about a route, and you're like, oh, I don't know football like I thought I did.
As a former NFL linebacker, I've got to ask, and they say you get tackled in high school, you get hit in college, and you get punished in the NFL. What is it like being an NFL linebacker on a game-by-game, play-by-play basis when you got somebody like Adrian Peterson or somebody like that coming at you?
You bring up AP. I played Marshawn Lynch about 8 times. It's funny they say it's a car wreck.
Yeah.
You know, while you're out there, adrenaline's running, and you're out there hitting, and it's crazy to say, but the running backs are the easiest people to tackle. It's getting away from these offensive linemen, Jonathan Ogden, Steve Hutchinson. It's funny that when people ask me the best player, they always want to hear a quarterback or receiver, because that's the fun, the fantasy football. When I start bringing up, you know, Chiefs O-line back when Priest Holmes was there, and that some of those Dallas offensive linemen, like I'm bringing, when you say fear, I don't think about receivers or running backs. I think about these 350-pound linemen that could dance right with you, and they're taught to punish you. So every game was like multiple car wrecks, and you wouldn't feel it till Monday night, Tuesday morning. Can't turn the neck, shoulders sore, and then Wednesday you got to practice again and get ready. So that's the maintenance of your body, is really just recovering from a car wreck every single Monday after a game.
Preparing for a game, there's a lot of film study, you know, for your particular opponent. How are you able to translate that into now analyzing and, you know, being purposeful to break it all down and also make sure you have a good argument so somebody doesn't come at you at the table?
Yeah, it's a lot of people that watch football, and it's not a knock against anybody, but they're ball watchers. They just follow the ball around the field, and you can't see the big picture of defense or offense if you're just looking at the ball. So it's simple when you break it down to that minute level of just these linemen have to do this, and then that can happen. And before it even happens, you know what's going to happen before the rest of the world knows what's about to happen. And that's what you get when you study. Like Zach Thomas, I played with, he had me watching 40, 50 hours of film a week, and I just didn't want to upset him on Sunday, so I had to keep up and just watch that much film for that many years, and the whole game slows down to you.
Wow, enough said. Appreciate it, sir.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. We've been talking about this all morning long. Game 3 is simply massive for the Sixers tonight against the Knicks, and there are many levels to this matchup, offensively, defensively, and yes, of course, the controversy at the end of Game 2. We've got Sean Bell from 94 WIP joining us here to break it all down. So first of all, Sean, let me just set the scene for you a little bit. On offense, the Knicks, they have more of a, you know, motion style offense. You know, they move a lot of guys around, set a lot of high screens. They can either shoot, drive, or pass out of their offense. On the other side, the Sixers, they're more so ISO between Maxey and Joel Embiid, or, you know, pick and roll action. What do the Sixers have to do to be able to, you know, move forward with their offense in this game?
Make shots. I mean, I know it's simple, but it's about the other guys, right? It's about Tobias Harris, it's about Kelly Oubre, it's about Buddy Hield, it's about those guys making shots. Nicholas Batum, Kyle Lowry. And the Knicks had the other guys. Yes. Right? Josh Hart was a bucket in the first game. McBride was a bucket in the second game. They've had the other guys get buckets because Jalen Brunson hasn't been able to. So, you know, regardless of the offense you have and the motion that you do and the pick and rolls, hit open shots, right? Go through it with physicality, get a bucket, and get it done. And that's what they have to do. the others. That's all that's what it's about.
And in order for the other guys, quote unquote, to get involved, you got to get them the ball. Because just a little bit of offensive comparison, the average for the Knicks, 6 guys scoring in double figures so far throughout this series. Jalen Brunson's averaging 23, Isaiah Hartenson's averaging 10, 13-point gap between 6 players. Maxey averaging 34, Embiid averaging 31. The next closest player averaging any points in double figures is Kyle Lowry at 13 points. That is a 23-point gap between 3 different players. So as you said, you got to get other guys the ball consistently and allow them to score. So defensively, what do you think? I mean, how do you stop 6 players scoring in double figures in one series?
They played good defensively.
Yeah.
I know you put out those statistics and it sounds crazy. This guy got that, this guy got this, but look at the point totals, right? You have games in a high 90s, low 100s, like it's 2000s, 1990s basketball. So it's about you making shots and being tough and getting the right offensive rebounds and right defensive rebounds at the end of games. That's what it's about. They played really good defense. Jalen Brunson went 8 for 29. Yeah. The last game, right? And I know everyone killed Tobias Harris, but Tobias and Nicholas Batum have played great defense on Jalen Brunson, which is why Jalen Brunson is shooting a poor percentage over the first couple of games. And we're at home, right? Like the role players play great at home. Yeah. When they go on the road, they play terrible. That's how it's been of all of time. And that's what it's going to be tonight. The role players are going to step up, and then the Josh Harts, the McBrides, those guys aren't going to shoot as well on the road. That's just what it's always been.
It's really a chess matchup. I mean, not even only on the court, but definitely when it comes to the roster as well. Now, Joel Embiid, how much do you think that knee injury, you know, him having surgery and being out for that amount of time, do you think that's kind of holding him back, or, you know, how you think that's affecting?
I mean, he's giving you what he can give you, right? And he's played great. Right? He's out here giving you 30 points, 10 rebounds, but it's not going to last. Like you saw in the fourth quarter, those knees, he can't jump anymore. All of a sudden, he's not getting rebounds. He only got, I think, 2 rebounds in the second half of last game, right? Because his knees were shot, plus his cardio wasn't there. The one thing about it, when you have knee injuries, you can't run, right? So your cardio was shot. So the time he was sitting out, he wasn't able to keep up that cardiovascular, and that's the problem that he's having. So other guys have to step up on the rebounding end. Other guys have to gang rebound and box players out. The problem of that last game, in the second when Dante DiVincenzo got that late 3, was Cass didn't box out. Right? If you look everybody out, everyone's scrambling. They're just trying to jump and get the ball instead of fundamental basketball. Tobias Harris, I know he's gotten killed. He was the only one who boxed out late in that game. Hartenstein jumps in because Joel Embiid doesn't box out. They get the offensive rebound, kick it out. Dante DiVincenzo hits the 3. So it has to be a gang rebounding mentality. They got to remember their fundamentals. Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris, Nicholas Batum, Kyle Lowry all had to dive in to get those rebounds and make sure the Knicks don't get second chance points. If the Knicks don't get second chance points, they cannot beat the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, that's well said. And also, while boxing out, they've also got to play airtight defense as well. Because DiVincenzo, those last 2 shots, there was nobody within 10 feet of him once he got the ball off. Now, let's talk about, since Joel Embiid has been hurt, how big has Tyrese Maxey been? You know, most improved player, made his first All-Star team this season.
He's balling. He's giving you everything you want. Right? Like the 2 stars have given you everything. Right? I know Joel Embiid could play better down the stretch, but we understand that he's hurt. Tyrese Maxey has been getting a bucket. He's been playing with that aggression. He's played well. So they've looked good. Again, it's all about the others in these 2 series. And forget about Jalen Brunson. Forget about Joel and Tyrese. The others, when the others play well, they will play well. And also, be tough with the basketball. Be strong with the basketball. The referees are calling this like 2000s basketball. I know people forgot what that was like because it's 20 years ago. I know it feels old. I feel old. It was 20 years ago. But they're allowing you to play. It's like pickup games. We're not giving you nothing soft. Toughen up, all right? If you're going to call foul, it better be a real foul or we're not giving it to you. That's the type of game plan the referees are calling. So at the end of that game, Tyrese Maxey, be tough. Right? They've been calling it that way the entire game and throughout the entire playoffs. If you've paid attention to the entire playoffs, they're letting people play. They're letting people be physical. So toughen up, be physical, and don't lose the ball because someone touched you.
Yeah, man, you really just said a mouthful because a lot of people are wondering why didn't the referees make a call, and that's normally an issue when a ref does make a call that affects the end of a game. People are like, oh, well, you know, why didn't he make that call or why did he make that call? The refs are letting them play. So, I mean, that's really good
in the
context
2020s, they don't do that. I get it. But they've made an effort, like the last 15 games of the regular season and into the playoffs, to say, we're going to let you guys play. We're going to let it be physical. That's the reason why all these games are in the 90s and 100s, right?
I mean, we love to see it.
That's what we love to see, but normally the games throughout the regular season have been 115 to 121. They've been high 110s, right?
Yeah.
That's what the games have been. But as soon as the refs say, all right, we won't let y'all play, we won't let y'all be physical, then games get down to the nitty-gritty. People aren't able to score as easy, and that's what you're seeing in these playoffs. So if you want to move on in these playoffs, if any team wants to move on in these playoffs, they got to be tough.
What's your prediction? Are we going?
It's a dub tonight.
It's a dub tonight?
It's an easy dub. Tobias Harris is going to play well. Kelly Oubre is going to play well. Kyle Lowry is going to play well. The role players play great at home. Joel will give you what he's going to give you. Tyrese is going to give you what you give you. It's going to be 2-1. Everyone's going to be happy in Sixers land. All right, and then we're going to go on to Game 4, and that will be the real decider who's going to win this series.
Awesome. Sean Bell, 94 WIP. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back after the break. The Sicklerville Hard Knocks Boxing Gym, located in Summerdale, New Jersey, is the training facility for 27-year-old Nahir Albright. They also call him Woo. Now, boxing has always been a part of his life because his uncle and father both made it into the professional ranks. Albright himself started taking boxing seriously at around 14 years old, and after a successful amateur career, he's now 16-2 professionally with 7 knockouts and is ranked 13th in the world by the WBO, which is one of boxing's big 4 governing bodies. Now, I sat down with Nahir at the gym to learn more about where his career is headed and what motivates him to step inside that squared circle to fight for a living.
Around the house, like, that's all we know was boxing. Like, I used to box my brothers and sisters growing up. Feel me? Like, every cookout we had gloves, throwing gloves on and stuff like that. So I feel like boxing chose me, you know?
What do they say about boxing? It's not a tough man sport, it's a thinking sport. If you're getting hit too much, you need to go back to the drawing board.
Absolutely.
So what is going through your mind when you're in the ring with someone who is, you know, trying to do damage to you, like you trying to do damage to them?
You just gotta prepare. Preparation is everything. So during training camp, you see what the guy brings, and you study them, and you go in there and execute the game plan, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes things don't go as planned, and you gotta make adjustments, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying, you already play the fight over and over in your head.
I think Mike Tyson said everybody got a plan until they get hit in the face.
That's fact.
So what happens in that moment? You know, I've never been punched in the face by another person, and punches are coming hard. Like, I always think when I watch boxing matches, like, I don't understand how this person gets hit, gets lean, and continues to come forward and ends up winning the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you do that? That's the simplest way I can ask.
You make adjustments, and also you gotta have a why. Why are you fighting?
What's your why?
I have a lot of whys. My daughter, for one, like, that's my heart. I want to give her a better life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like all the people out there that's in poverty and stuff like that, I feel like they need somebody to make it out and give back. I'm just sent to do, you know, God's work, you know, through my gifts.
What are you thinking about going forward in your career? Do you know when your next fight is going to be?
So I don't have anything scheduled right now. Right now I'm just in a gym training, working on the things that I need to work on. But we are now ranked 13 by the WBO because of that fight. I got exposure as well. So now it's only up from here, you know, bigger names, big fights, pay-per-view.
I want to give you the opportunity to encourage the community however you feel comfortable doing that.
Okay. I would say, man, you just gotta have the willpower. You gotta just keep going when it's dark, when it's lonely. Just keep going, keep pushing. Man, God gonna make a way for you. He's gonna make a way. Trust it.
Every offense has a good leader, and that starts with the quarterback. We're here with the quarterback of Villanova Wildcats, Connor Watkins. So, Connor, what's your thought process going into another big game? You guys handled Youngstown State last week, and now you're going out to South Dakota.
I mean, I think it's just trying to keep the main thing each and every week. We try to focus on the small things and get better, because that's where games at this point in the season are won. It just comes back to fundamental football, and then also along with that, just making sure that our bodies feel good in a week-to-week basis, and just trying to prepare for going out west to play against the Jackrabbits.
Yeah. What is the mood in the locker room right now? A couple days out before you head out to South Dakota.
It's fun. It's always fun. This season's been fun. The locker room has been a blast. Everybody just hanging out in there, having a good time. I always kind of resort back to like in the beginning of the year when Matt Stafford said he was struggling in the locker room to connect with guys, because it's different nowadays. We kind of have that old school mentality in our locker room. Nobody's really on their phone. We just have a good time and hang out.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Well, you got to keep it loose and stay focused, and best of luck to you guys headed out to South Dakota, man. To stop a good offense, which I'm sure the South Dakota Jackrabbits have, you got to have a good defense, and right in the middle of it, that's the linebackers. I'm standing here with the strong side outside linebacker for the Villanova Wildcats, Danny Abraham. Danny, you got to have your head on straight. You got to be reading your keys and whatnot when you're trying to, track down an offense that you're about to face. Did it last week against Youngstown State, been doing it all season long. What's your thought process going into this week?
I think it all starts with the coach's game plan. The coach spent a lot of time putting it together and then watching film, communicating to us, and just trusting them and having faith in them. So that's where it starts, with just trusting our coaches and reading our keys.
And most importantly, you got to enjoy the moment. You're in the FCS playoffs in the third round. How excited are you and your team to be still playing? You're still at practice right now while other guys are at home.
Super excited. December football is championship football, so we're excited to be out here. It's snowing. We're grateful for it. And I'm in my 6th year. I played at Harvard, transferred here, and we didn't get to play in the playoffs. So this is new to me, uncharted territory, and I'm extremely happy to be here.
Well, I'm sure you are one of the great leaders on the team, linebacker Danny Abraham. As they have said, a couple of guys have told me, keep the main thing, and go 1-0 every single week. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Every week, you got to go 1-0 in the playoffs, and that's what the Villanova Wildcats are hoping to do this week. I'm standing here with the coach, Mark Ferrante of the Villanova Wildcats. Coach Mark Ferrante, been with the team since 1987, and they continue to have success since he took over the team in 2017. Coach, what's your team and your thought process going into another big game?
Yeah, I appreciate you being here, and we just got to keep doing what we're doing. We've been playing pretty well lately. We got to hang on to the football and hopefully create some turnovers on defense, and we just got to play fundamental football. We got to tackle well. We got to block well. We got to make sure we're covering the gaps and doing those types of things. And our guys have really taken that to heart. And that 1-0 mentality has really sunk in with these guys, and they talk about it a lot. So new week, new challenge, and let's hope to go 1-0 this week.
Yes, sir. Very well said. And you guys this week have to go to South Dakota. Last week, I'm sure the fans were out. I'm sure the energy was great here in Villanova Stadium. So how does that kind of, give you guys more of a cause to focus going into an away game for another win?
Well, sometimes that does happen. You do get a little more focused because you're by yourselves and you're in a hotel and the guys are just with each other all the time. We don't stay in a hotel at home games. So when we have a home game, our guys are spread out throughout campus. We have a couple guys that live off campus. So, it does tend to maybe lead to a little more focus when you are on the road, because we're just all in the hotel together doing the meetings and, just hanging around together the whole time. So we're looking forward to getting on the road. We're looking forward to, first of all, having good practices this week and make sure we're preparing properly so we can go out and hopefully perform well. But other than that, once we get on a plane on Friday, it's time to lock in and start focusing on, concentrate on what we're trying to do.
Yes, sir. And the X's and the O's, that's going to handle itself. Villanova is a great team. South Dakota, of course, is a great team. They're ranked #1 in the country, so you have to tune in and support. They're flying a long way. But right now, for these college athletes, these student athletes, what do you think they're going through emotionally and mentally as they're preparing, to get one step closer, hopefully, to an FCS national championship?
Well, I know they're excited about playing. There's only 8 teams left, so to be one of those 8 teams is an honor and a privilege. And our guys have done a great job, doing what they need to do all year with their focus and with their preparation. Now this is our last week of school, and so final exams are going to be hitting as well. So student athletes do have to balance their time, and we got to make sure we're doing a great job in the classroom as well as preparing to do a great job on the field.
Yes, sir. Well, the team is doing well, and that only happens because of great leadership and great coaching. So kudos to you, Coach Mark. And again, it's going down this Saturday. They got to go to South Dakota, so you guys make sure you tune in and support your Villanova Wildcats as they try to capture that FCS national championship. Thanks again, Coach.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. And the LaSalle men's rowing team, also, they competed in the Jefferson Dadville Regatta over the weekend, which we've recapped a little while ago. But before those races, I spoke with the head coach and some of the fifth-year senior leaders on that team about how teamwork and passion for the sport is paramount when transforming a program.
But I've been rowing since I was 8 years old, so I kind of had this knowledge built in that I wanted to give back.
After years of experience on the water, literally a lifetime, which includes rowing in college at Drexel, LaSalle head rowing coach Ivo Krakic wanted to experience other programs to see how they're run. Now, after the 2018 season, Krakic reached out to the head coach at LaSalle, and he was brought on as a volunteer coach. And members of the team say that he made an immediate impact.
When Ivo came as a volunteer, it kind of ignited a fire in the guys. We would have our morning practices like with everyone, with our coach, and then we'll go out in the afternoon as an optional row, but it didn't matter that it was optional. Everyone wanted to go out, everyone wanted to get in the extra miles with Ivo, with the guys, and just get better.
I think in my time I've seen coaches, fall out of love with the sport. Him bringing that enthusiasm and love to everything he does, especially with the team, it's everything. I think the biggest thing with a coach is especially trust, and I think we all just trust him so much.
After numerous head coaching changes, Krakic was eventually hired as the head coach himself at LaSalle, but he had already positively impacted the mentality and trajectory of the program. Now, he is focused on keeping his team motivated and prepared to compete at the highest level against the best competition in the country.
We raced Drexel my first year. We lost 20 seconds. Now we're beating them. We lost to California, who was ranked #1 by 20 seconds this past 2 weeks ago, right? So that's a gap now that I think in the next couple of years we can close. The biggest change from my perspective was just showing them they can do it, right? They can win, they can do well as long as they commit. And I think that kind of fed into each other, into itself, to where now the team is almost like self-fueling itself. I'm here, I'm helping, I'm guiding, but they're the ones pushing me and pulling me to really come out and do my best work.
These days, the rowers are having fun while putting in the work. And both of the senior rowers that I spoke with told me that without Coach Krakic, they don't believe that this LaSalle rowing program would be where it is today.
It's been awesome. I mean, can't really put it in terms. He was a great guy, really caring, really knowledgeable of the sport. I'm really lucky, blessed, honestly. I've come in as a 5th year, and I've been voted as a team captain.
It feels great, like knowing that I was here on the ground level, I got to see it at its low. I can see it at its peak now, and I can envision where it's going to go in the future.
All right, we're going to finish up sports with a local feature story on someone we all know about very well. The LaSalle University men's basketball team is hoping to build some momentum as they wrap up their regular season and head into the vaunted A10 conference tournament. Now, I talked with the team's head coach, as I said, who is a Philly sports legend on many levels, Coach Fran Dunphy. I talked to him about the team's current mindset, their approach to each game, and I just asked him to talk about how he feels about coaching at his alma mater, where he stepped on campus way back in 1966.
Every game in this league is just a monster. The teams are good, the players are good, they're well coached. It's a challenge every single game.
LaSalle University head basketball coach, who is also an alum of the university, he's no stranger to big games and tough competition. As a student back in 1969, Dunphy played on the Explorers squad that went 23-1 and finished the season ranked 2nd in the final AP Top 25 poll. The next year, he led the team in assists and averaged over 18 points a game, so he knows from experience what it takes to win consistently, and that's focusing on the fundamentals.
We're worried about the next game we're playing. The reality is you're thinking about every possession. The offensive possession, are we getting a good shot? The defensive possession, are we being tough enough on the defensive end and being in the right spots and taking care of our disciplines?
In a competitive Atlantic 10 conference, while also battling within the Big 5 locally, Coach Dunphy relies on his 30 years of coaching experience from his successful stints at Penn, Temple, and now LaSalle, where he has amassed over 600 wins in his head coaching career. Now this season, 2 guards known as the Killer Bees are like Coach Dunphy's coaches on the court.
Khalil Brantley and Jameer Brickus, they're good basketball players. They're good guys to coach, good guys for me to bounce ideas off of. In all honesty, many times during the course of the game, I might want to say, what do you want to run? Because they're out there, they're in the arena, they're doing the job. Let's get some of their ideas. I think they're pretty good IQ, both of them. So I trust them.
And when Coach Dunphy was asked to come back to LaSalle to lead the program, he saw it as an opportunity to contribute to the success of the institution that gave him his first chance as a player and as a coach. Now, he's joined by 2 other alumni as assistant coaches, one of which Dunphy said was a must-hire if he took the job, and it's his good friend, Joe Mahalik.
He makes you feel comfortable as soon as you see him. He knows exactly if you're getting what he's saying or not. He repeats it, he spells it, does whatever he can to put you at ease. But it's just that kind of presence that he comes with, and his experience is off the charts. I'm proud of LaSalle and where it is today. If you're looking for substance, it is absolutely here. And so I'm grateful to the Christian brothers who have led this institution for as long as they have. When I first got here in 1966, they put their arms around me and made me comfortable, and they took care of me.
Such a great conversation. Now Dunphy says that he wants to take care of LaSalle and, of course, the student athletes that he is coaching on a daily basis. He really wants them to take advantage of the opportunity they have to be D1 basketball players. Now, the Explorers just played their final game in the current version of Tom Gola Arena. That was last Saturday, and that is now about to be completely redone. Now, the team has one last regular season game before heading into that A-10 conference playoff to make a push for the championship. So good luck to Coach Dunphy and the LaSalle men's basketball team. The Archbishop John Carroll women's basketball team, and they're trying to win back-to-back state championships. But first, they want to win the all-important PCL championship, and they're one step closer after winning their semifinal game against Cardinal O'Hara last Wednesday. So I got a chance to talk with some of the players to find out how they're handling the pressure of defending their championship, and they say that their mentality is to take each game one play at a time, and more importantly, they want to remember to enjoy every moment of it.
It was the best day of my life. It was literally the greatest time of my life. It was amazing.
Last season started out with a few bumps in the road for the Archbishop John Carroll women's basketball team, but they say that their personal bonds with each other, that's what helped them refocus and finish the season as state champs. This year, yes, there are some new faces, but they say the never say die mentality, that's the same.
One play at a time. We make a mistake, you get back, it's okay. Like, just take it one step at a time so we all can calm each other down.
When it comes to the X's and the O's, the team says that their versatility is how they manage to keep opposing teams off balance on both offense and defense.
It's pretty positionless, so it's a lot of guard movement, setting screens for one another, off-ball screens. I think we have the best defense in the PCL. It's mostly just playing disciplined defense.
Senior guard Brooke Wilson just scored her 1,000th point in her high school career a few games ago, and she'll be lacing up her sneakers at West Point Academy next year. She and her senior teammates are hoping to go out with a bang as two-time state champions.
It's probably one of those moments that made me realize how fortunate I am to play with all these girls, and they're my best friends. So it's just the best part of it was seeing all of them so happy, and all my family and fans and the coaches, and it was just one of those moments where I was like, wow.
We have one goal, and that's to win the PCL, and we've all been saying that since we won states last year, is to win the PCL, and I really think we can do it this year.
Now, the staff at Archbishop John Carroll says that the success of the sports programs is a reflection of the school's overall culture of family. It's a characteristic that Principal Bill Gennaro says is an intangible facet of their close-knit school community.
There is really no better feeling whether you're standing off to the side up at State College as the trophy's being handed out, or you're standing off to the side up at the Giant Center as the medals are being handed out. Just that feeling of taking a look around and be like, this job's pretty cool. And it's really, really enjoyable to see the students that we work with day in and day out achieve their ultimate goals.
High school lacrosse season is just getting started, and this season, the Archbishop John Carroll Lady Patriots are gearing up to make a run at a 4th straight state championship in lacrosse. Yes, you heard that right. Now, the last quarter century, though, is decorated with high-level success under the guidance of Coach Lorraine Beers, resulting in dozens of scholarships earned by members of her teams and consistent showings in both the PCL and the state championship playoffs. Now, it's a career arc that Coach Beers, when I talked to her, she says she never imagined.
Well, I had absolutely been blessed by coming here to Carroll and landing here because the kids, the girls, are amazing. They just are really good athletes, first of all. They love to be challenged. They are just really nice to each other.
Lorraine Beers, head coach of the Archbishop John Carroll women's lacrosse team, says that 25 years ago when she first started coaching, one of the players on her first team was adamant about playing college lacrosse at Georgetown. Well, that player's passion and fire for the game inspired that entire program to chase greatness. And since then, Coach Beers has replicated those consistent efforts, which have resulted in 25 straight PCL championship appearances with 24 wins. And this year, her team is hoping to win their 4th straight state championship, even after 8 seniors graduated from last year's team.
It's going to be new, a lot of responsibility for them. Executing in difficult situations is going to be tough. We're prepared and we're working hard, and we look forward to the challenge. The challenge is great. It's why we play, win or lose, you know?
Coach Beers says the recipe for her team's success over the years is actually pretty basic. Practice hard, stay active in the sport year-round, and never forget your love of the game. And while this year's team will try to achieve the unprecedented feat of winning that 4th straight state championship, a four-peat, Coach Beers still remembers her initial motivation for taking this job. She says she never thought her career would evolve the way it has, and she's both excited for her current players and proud of her previous ones.
This is crazy. It wasn't what I was planning to do 25 years ago. I was looking for something different. I played sports in college and coached a little bit at first and then went into business, and I thought I needed something different, and this was really different. We had so many D1 girls play, and it just was the fire, the dream that I felt great about. Like, this is what we will do now at Carroll. And so it just continued on every year after that. Girls who never thought they would play a sport in college were now getting scholarships and playing. So it's been a great ride.
3 terms: culture, legacy, and family. All of that is embodied on this women's lacrosse team. Now, after I talked with Coach Beers, yes, I talked to quite a few members of the team who are excited to get this season started. So keep watching PHL 17 to find out how those young ladies are handling the pressure of each game as they hope to repeat as 4-time state champions. We told you about the Archbishop John Carroll Lady Patriots lacrosse team's success over the last 25 years under the leadership and guidance of Coach Lorraine Beers. And she said she never expected to make the PCL championship 25 straight years. Unheard of, right? Well, this week we hear from a group of seniors who have the chance, y'all, to win their fourth straight state championship, and they explain how they continue to enjoy each game as they look to make even more history.
It's been amazing. I mean, like, I got not even teammates, I got family for life here.
Being on a team that's so successful brings a lot of responsibility, but also a lot of confidence.
I would just tell them to prepare more because we've been preparing all year. So we're coming out and just to be ready.
The senior members of the Archbishop John Carroll Lady Patriots lacrosse team, they are brimming with confidence as they try to finish their high school careers with 4 straight state championships while continuing the program's dominance in the PCL by winning a 25th championship under head coach Lorraine Beers. Now, I asked some of them to reflect on the last 3 years of success while playing the sport that they love with some of their best friends.
It's been just an amazing experience, like playing on such big stages and playing as a team. It's just like something a lot of people don't get to experience, so I've learned to not take that for granted.
It's really rewarding because we put in so much time and work and all year round. It just really shows how much we've worked and how hard we've worked to get to where we are.
It's been challenging and very fun. Challenging because everyone's really good and we always have to push each other and keep ourselves motivated and just be there for a team, and then really fun because I feel like we have a great connection.
Now, the culture and focus of the Lady Patriots that is guided by a living legend, Coach Lorraine Beers, and her players say that she is the guide and the catalyst for their cohesiveness, continuity, and intensity as a program.
It's really comforting because any criticism that she gives you, you know that she's right and she's looking out for you. All the potential you have, she can see that in you before you see it in yourself.
I think she's made a really big impact because she's definitely helped me to open my eyes to know what I want to do for college and if I really wanted to play or not. And then she just really is a great coach. She keeps us motivated. She keeps our eye on the prize.
She is the best. She is one of the main reasons I picked Carroll, and she's the greatest of all time.
Now that the season has begun, I asked if they have a message for their competition. Here's what some of them had to say.
We look sweet, but we're coming for you.
We've been working all year to come back, and that even though we lost a lot of seniors, we have a good team and we have a lot of underclassmen that are ready to step up to prove themselves.
We're just coming back stronger than we did last year. So we're trying to win 4P, keep the streak going on the PCLs. Yeah, watch out, I guess.
Now, I know we spoke with some of the senior leaders on that team, but they are a reflection of the entire squad who is laser beam focused on every single game. And many of the players on this team, yes, they will go on to play college lacrosse just like previous years, but they're also hopeful that they can pull off the unthinkable. So congrats to the Lady Patriots on their previous years of success and Coach Lorraine Beers, and good luck on your quest at a four-peat. All right, that is our look at sports.